懐かしいこの景色にお涙止まんねえわ。はっはー、見事だ。原始のストーンワールドにこんなにも美しい村を築くとは。海も山もこの村も全部が欲しい。
いや、やらねえよ、俺らの村だ。よっと。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video on the VikingGnomeAnime channel. I am your resident Viking Gnome, and I am reviewing anime today. Oof, it's getting late, pardon my speech. So today we are quickly going to review the first episode of the third season of Dr. Stone. Now, I assume that all of you, or practically all of you, know what Dr. Stone is, how the storyline is currently progressing, and what you think of the show as a whole so far. I mean, if not, why would you be looking at a review of the first episode of the third season? Anyhow, I'm not going to go too much into the episode itself, as it's pretty straightforward what they do in this first episode. I'll quickly go through that, recap the major events, and then we will talk about Dr. Stone as a whole, because I am very, very excited and very happy that we are finally getting a new season of this show that I think is overall great, and this makes me, happy to watch week by week. So, in this first episode, we see the continuation of where the last special episode ended, which came out last year, where they made the balloon flying machine, hot air balloon, and they now landed it in the village. The plot of this episode is quite simple in the ways that they need to find oil to power the ship that they are building, to travel to the other side of the planet to find the source of the petrification beam, which I suppose is going to be the main goal for this entire season. While they are looking for oil, they also end up founding agriculture and farming, as they need the food resources to be able to sustain themselves on the long boat journey, so they need preserved foods that will last a while, like bread, etc. And of course, it will also help with expanding the human population, with the food security being done. So the rest of the episode is basically just exploring, trying to find oil, not that they found it in this episode, and then securing the food resources by growing massive fields of wheat, and hopefully, probably, next episode, getting proper bread and wheat-based products made. And the episode basically ends on that note, with the horrible, unedible bread being made by Senku. Now, one note I will make in this episode, that I did make a note of, that I actually found quite humanizing, was the scene where the sailor guy, which I forget the name of, I'm too lazy to check right now, but the sailor guy, greedy sailor guy, he was offered food and dinner, and he was expecting an extravagant meal, as he was very accustomed to expensive and the best of the best sort of cuisine from when he was rich and powerful before the petrification. But he is basically just served 5 different fish dishes, and he isn't overly impressed. But you see his reaction after one of the elderly mentions that they're so happy that there's no famine anymore, that there isn't a lack of food so much that people will starve, or akin to that. And then you see the reaction from him, from the sailor guy here, name pending. I will find it next time, I promise. That he sort of, it seems like he's thinking and realizing, like, okay, things are serious in this new world. People actually starve from not having enough food. Like, this isn't some joking matter. This is something grave. And he continues to speak about this a bit later in the episode, when he mentions that, you know, he is super greedy, which means he is greedy enough that he wants everyone to have food and no one to starve, and, well, everyone to have a plenty, basically. So he's sort of greedy enough, per se, to want to save everyone, and such. So that I found to be quite a nice sort of small character development arc, in a sense. Or at least like a very nice interaction between him, his perceptions, and him getting used to this new world, and how things function here, and how dire simple things like getting food can actually be when you don't have the infrastructure for it. Alright, that was basically the main point I wanted to make in this episode, as the highlight that I quite liked. Outside of that, you know, it's Dr. Stone, right? You've seen Season 1, seen Season 2, seen the special episode, seen probably some other things as well. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, I personally really like the show. I've always liked the show since Season 1, since the start, basically. I love this sort of sciencey approach, and I'm actually explaining these things and building all these contraptions using, from what I know, real-life methods of how these things are made and produced, even though, as they say, you know, don't attempt this at home. This can be quite dangerous, but alas. I will continue to enjoy the series as it moves forward with this new season, with getting across the ocean to find the source of the beam and that entire plotline. It will be nice to see it continue, and just getting weekly goodness with Senku as a very enigmatic, energetic, mad scientist character, and all the contraptions he will come up with to solve his problems. I also love the show just because of the emotional connection and response I've gotten to multiple episodes, of just them sort of bringing forward simple things but making it really impactful. One thing I remember is the end scene from the first season, I believe. Maybe the second. No, the first. When they play this record label, and these people hear music for the first time in their lives. And it is displayed as such a beautiful, mesmerizing, and just deeply impactful thing. Like, those are the scenes that I really, really love, and think are just amazing in Dr. Stone as a whole. I hope we will get more things like that, and we can just marvel at these things that we take for granted in today's day and age, but that through these characters we can really, hopefully, appreciate on a much deeper level, even if only briefly, through their experiences of them. Anyway, that will be the end of this video of the Episode 1 review of Dr. Stone Season 3. If you did like this video, please do like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload something new. And if you're so inclined, I would also appreciate a comment with some feedback, what you think of the video, what you thought of the episode, or anything else that's really on your mind. I respond to every comment and would love the interaction and support from you. Nevertheless, hope you did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one.